Stand clear.
100% Wild Podcast.
So for all you listeners,
hello and welcome to
definitely not your favorite outdoor podcast.
What's up, everybody?
So,
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Drury Outdoors 100% Wild Podcast, powered by DeerCast. We're under the gun here right now. So we've got a full house on stage. We've got Mark and Terry
staring at us from 5 feet right below the cameras.
If you're watching the show, pretty much under every angle, there's a Drury watching us. Under duress here.
Hey, this is what it was like when I was editing for them back in the day.
Yeah, flashbacks.
Don't hit me.
So that's Matt Drury.
You're Tim Chelswick.
And we've got Perry, and we got Forrest, and we got Wade. All the farm managers.
Minus Scott.
We simply couldn't fit him on the set.
So we thought it'd be fun. We've talked about it the last couple podcasts. We had the whole Drury Outdoors company in the studio, which is rare. So we were taking the opportunity to try to have a podcast with a couple different groups, and we felt like it'd be kind of comical to have one with Wade, Forrest, and Perry because they got all the dirt on Mark and Terry. But then Mark and Terry sat in front of us, and they're making it awkward to tell all the dirt.
Quality control, I think that's what they call it.
Yeah. So it may not be quite as good as we thought it would be if they were in another room.
Welcome to the show, boys.
Thanks for having us.
Absolutely. Yeah, thanks for being had. Later on, the Real Wild Clip is actually something that you contributed to the show. So make sure you stick around.
Always filming, always producing.
Always be filming, ABF.
It's a video of Tim in the saddle is what it is.
Just swinging.
Just swinging.
Perry, you saw this. The what is it they call it? The forest dumper, whatever it is, like that sling that you lean against a tree with, so you can take a dump and not have to worry
Perry
about
saw
crouching.
it in the rack pack. He's a frequent packer.
He is.
Always packing.
Michael Engelmeyer keeps hitting us up via text. He's
rack blasters.
He's calling them the rack blasters now, which I don't know if I like it or.
It's not bad.
It's got like a violent sound
they
to
do
it.
rip on you guys pretty bad in there.
Yeah, well, when you don't kill anything in a whole season.
We've kind of earned it.
We kind of earned it.
Yeah. But you wait, 2023, that's our year.
I was saying it a couple podcasts ago. It's like these guys act like we've never killed anything. It's like the year before I killed 3. The year before that I killed 3.
2 bumbling idiots.
Yeah. But that's fine. We got to redeem ourselves this year. So we thought we'd have 3 guys that can kill something on the podcast. Collectively, you guys probably had the best year of your life last fall. Yeah, each of you individually, right?
Yep.
So Wade killed 187?
188.
188, sorry. Didn't mean to short you.
Don't short me that edge.
That's what she said.
Exactly.
And then, so we should say, Forrest can't hear the soundboard.
Yeah,
so
I don't know what's going on.
If we all laugh and he just starts laughing, he's just laughing because we're laughing. And then, so you killed a 187.
No, 185 and 7/8.
I gave you,
gave him a couple inches.
You're welcome. Thank you. And then you killed a bunch of deer.
That's a lot of mature deer.
That's right.
I love it.
But what hasn't been seen is he missed a couple of the biggest deer of his life.
I missed a deer.
The biggest deer.
Okay.
Possibly the biggest deer out of all 3 of us.
Tim swinging, Perry swinging and missing.
I haven't heard this story.
No, it
chance.
was a mega giant, though.
Yeah.
With a bow?
How comes I haven't heard this story?
I don't know.
So let's hear it, man. This is the dirt we're talking about.
Missed.
That's the podcast will just be about referencing things and then moving on very quickly.
There was 2 bucks fighting, and when I shot, I didn't try to stop the deer because I didn't want them to. They were both very they weren't like hitting each other, but they were just like together, just kind of sparring. And when I shot the deer on the left,
Drug him,
pushed him back, and the arrow went low.
Wow.
That sucks.
Low forward.
How big are we talking?
Oh, he was Booner.
That's right.
Yeah. You know.
You say that with such resolve. Hey, Booter.
Well, it's like you're like, next year's our year. So I'm like, next year's my year.
Next year you'll get him.
So does that footage show up anywhere, or only if you somebody kills the deer this year we'll see it?
I think you run the studio, so you could probably find it.
Okay. You'd be surprised what I can't find.
We're gonna B-roll this section here.
All right.
Whoa. So
That's a big deer.
There it is.
Mark's got it.
Oh, there it is.
Mark's got it.
Here we go.
We'll play it. Are we able to play that for the whole audience?
For sure.
Like B-roll it?
Mark's gonna show us. So if you're watching at home, you're seeing the back of Mark's head.
Oh,
Wow.
Right.
Man, that's unfortunate.
That
Big deer.
That's tough.
that arrow flight looked real pretty, just not.
Oh, that beautiful
where you
green
want
knock.
it.
Yeah.
Felt good.
It felt
Release was great.
What
Deer
can you
just,
do? That's
just a
kind
bit
of a
outside.
freak thing.
Wade just loves,
Bringing it up.
putting daggers in people. It's fine.
I get enough daggers on my side. It's fine.
It brings up an interesting point, though, because we've talked about this on the show before. Would you shoot a buck that is sparring with another buck if they're locked up
Obviously
in
so.
fighting? I'm in the camp. I probably would. If it was a shooter deer, I would probably still shoot it.
It was a point in the one of those nights where there's no wind out, and if you map, who knows what they're going to do, and the deer was content, but obviously you take that. What I took into perspective was the deer was not moving on the shot, and then during the mid-flight or as I'm releasing, whatever had happened, the deer pushed back. So,
How far was that shot, you think?
38, I think.
Okay.
So.
Yeah.
Well, on that note, that's just sorry.
We're gonna end the show and that was the whole podcast. The title is Perry's Miss. Also, there was a white squirrel.
We haven't got to that yet.
I gave it away.
Yeah.
Crud. People have no more reason to stick around.
So you guys you've been with us at Drury Outdoors for how many years now? Is it 12?
I'm sorry.
12 or 13. 12 since 2012.
And then you've been with us 6. You've been with us 3.
Yep.
So we kind of get to go down the pipeline of experience and tenure here. You've seen a lot, Wade.
Yeah, I sure have.
He's broken a lot of things too.
There's a list.
So they had to hire Perry because he's a mechanic as well.
He can fix everything I mess up.
Fix a lot.
I literally get daily Snapchats from Perry fixing this that Wade broke. Look what Wade broke. I get back. Wade was on vacation. Oh, he broke that.
So that is interesting, though, because one of the things you guys, there's a lot of equipment, things that you may not have necessarily, that's not your profession or your background, but you work in this job, you kind of got to be a jack of all trades, right?
For sure.
Definitely.
Figure it out. Yeah.
So what's some of the craziest stuff? I mean, have you flipped a tractor? I think, Wade.
I have. Yes, I have.
How does that call go?
That one was a rough one. Well, first thing he asked was, are you okay? Yes, I'm fine. Just, obviously a little shaken up here about how this call's going to go. If I'm not mistaken, that might have been the very first summer I started. First couple weeks.
Mark says the first couple weeks.
Studio
Mark is
audience says the
fact-checking.
first couple weeks.
But yeah, so it was when EHD hit, is going around all the ponds, spraying for the midge flies, and it was a farm that we had like 6 to 8 foot tall CRP on, and that front tire just went off. You know how the pond has a little embankment around it usually? Well, I didn't see it and just went off there. All that weight just sloshed in that tank and over it went, slow motion.
Were you scared shitless?
Oh yeah, well, not to mention there was a corner hedge post that literally went right up against the cab, so it was like 8 inches from going through my head.
Yeah,
But might have knocked some sense into him.
Yeah, I did more than that, but yeah, it was definitely a rush.
So you call Mark. He says, "Are you all right?" I'm fine. So what happens then? How'd you get the tractor out of the pond?
Well, it didn't go all the way in. It didn't go into the pond. It was right up against because it was in that drought, so the water was so receded. Yeah. And but no, we just called a farmer, and we had the big cat tractor out there with the big tracks, and they just pulled it over. And
was she totaled or?
No, we had that tractor for probably 5 more years and got it all fixed back up, and She ran like a top.
It's a good tractor.
But yeah, so that was probably my my worst moment
On the farm.
On the farm for sure.
How about you?
Forrest don't mess up.
No, I have.
No,
Yeah.
I just-
There's definitely been mess ups. I don't know. Probably the worst one I had was I split my head open real bad, and I was only working for 3-4 months. Like that first year's rough. I don't know how it was for you, but man,
You kind of figure.
there was a little washout there in the bottom, and I was probably driving a little too fast or whatever, and we hadn't mowed yet that year and was going along, and the front wheel, that side-by-side went in there, and I went in that rolled bar or whatever. It clocked me right in the head. I had to get 22 stitches. I
Holy
think.
cow.
It went all the way down to my skull. I remember Dr. Kilmer there. Chad Kilmer was with me.
Oh, no.
You're in trouble.
Backwoods medicine.
I went up and I had my hand on my forehead, and I was like, Chad, I need help. And he's like, what? And I took it away, and he's like, oh, it don't look that bad.
I just see your skull.
20-some stitches later.
So we went in the bunkhouse, and I kind of because it had stopped bleeding right away, but there was blood all over me and stuff, and we kind of cleaned it up, and he was like, I don't think it's that bad. And his wife at the time worked for a plastic surgeon, and he texted her a picture, and she was like, get him here immediately. So we went in, and they cleaned it all out real good, and Chad was sitting there with me or whatever, and he's like, so how bad is it? And the doctor's like, come here. And the doctor went like that and pulled apart, and you could see. And Chad was like, oh my, he does need stitches.
I'm shocked Chad gave you bad advice.
But while I was getting stitches, Chad's sitting there with his phone, and he's got his little readers on. He's taking pictures and video, so he's got a bunch of video of me getting stitched up.
Chad's like 6'7".
He was in the guy giving me
pounds.
stitches was like 5'6" probably, so Chad's right over it.
all up in the grill.
So then you filled out like a critical incident report and submitted it to Terry.
No.
No, he was just like,
Are you all right?
you all right? And I was like, my head's a little sore. And he's got, it'll wear off.
See you bright and early tomorrow morning.
But then the best part was they were like, keep it covered. So I had a little American flag bandana I had to wear.
Karate Kid.
I had to wear over. So we were putting up a blind a couple weeks later, and everyone was up there making fun of me. I had this little American flag bandana around my head.
Just proud.
Oh,
Just
yeah.
proud to be here.
Oh, yeah.
How about you?
Flying the colors. Oh, probably when I smashed my pinky finger.
Was that a worse accident than crashing that $20,000 drone?
Yes.
It was? Okay. Just
Cost a lot more than $20,000. Well, the drone repair wasn't, unfortunately. But yeah, smashing my finger in a hitch of a cultipacker. It like can swivel with the ride height, and went to unhook it, and it like swung and smashed in 2 pieces of metal. And I went like, I told Wade, I was like, I didn't feel good. And he was like, oh, it can't be that bad. And I went like this, and he goes, yeah, we're going to go to the hospital.
But let me finish this food plot first.
Yeah.
I said just walking off for a little bit. Just holler if you feel like you're going to pass out.
I was just pacing up and down the walking strip. Wade's cultipacking.
that's dedication.
Your
Gotta get
pinky's
the
like,
flop.
your pinky's two-dimensional at that point.
Yeah, I
Piece of
broke
paper.
the end bone of my pinky in three spots, and it was
splintered
just, Yeah.
It's amazing for all the stuff that we do, just as deer hunters in general, that we don't get hurt more often.
Yeah.
Climbing into trees, climbing into
Knock
blinds.
on wood. I mean, you're trying to be safe. I mean, these guys are spending a lot of hours in the element, and so it's almost a law of averages. But obviously they're always trying to be careful and all that stuff. But when you're talking about food plotting, how many food plots did you play that day?
Yeah.
I mean, when you're talking 30 or 40 food plots overall, or
Yep.
they're moving at a fast pace in general. So sometimes stuff.
A lot
can
of
happen.
equipment. I mean, anything a farmer does, we do. And then some, Lots more specific in certain areas.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, to me, the balance between speed, like let's get it done, and taking and going slow to take care of the equipment, that balance seems like it's a real tough line to walk.
Yeah, for sure.
So as you guys, when you first start, I'm sure you think I have a pretty good hunting knowledge, coming into this thing. But once you dive into it, what's the learning curve there at the level that you're now doing it at, or that these guys that you're jumping into right out of the gate? You're at one level coming in. What's that learning curve between getting caught up real quick with the level that you need to be at?
Yeah, obviously just the knowledge from Mark and Terry and sitting by their side throughout every day of deer season. I mean, that learning curve for us happened a lot faster than it would for most people, I would think, just because, we got to hear it over and over, even before season, just the intrusion, just the small little things that equal, having big deer on the ground.
Yeah.
So, our learning curve was sped up greatly by, being in the blinder tree with Mark and Terry.
Yep.
You take something that somebody normally, let's say a dedicated person that hunts does something 6 months out of the year, and then like myself before I worked here, and then it's every day of your life. So like it's nonstop learning this. What is a pet peeve of Mark's? Like, hey, don't mow behind that blind because the deer are going to walk up your access, or just little things like that you learn quickly, because somebody might get mad at you about it, which is fine because that's how you learn. But it's every day, so it's an everyday learning. Yeah.
So real quick, background before you started with us. What was your background?
Dancing.
Well, I mean, I
know you were straight out of college, but what were you going to school for?
Oh, I was trying to get into dental school.
Oh, were you really?
Yeah, so that I could make enough money to do this. And
Look at the pearly whites.
He does have some nice teeth, too. How about you?
I was in college, forestry major, wildlife habitat management, and then my minor was photography and media production.
And then were you also guiding for waterfowl?
I worked down there in southeast Missouri. I was guiding waterfowl hunts on my off days from school.
And then how about you, Perry?
I was in the service, and then I went to U of I for fish and wildlife management. So,
in general, besides you, Wade, the background kind of already was this field. How did you make the jump from what you were going to do to this then?
I guided turkey and deer hunt, in the beginning of my college days for 2 years. And
of course, you started laughing when you said that.
Just the grammatical.
Okay. I'm going to be a dick.
Guided deer hunt.
But anywho, so no, I just wanted, so what I've always wanted to do. So
how did you get the opportunity to jump in with Mark then?
Through guiding. A guy who actually filmed for Jared, Micah Ealing, he actually guided turkey hunts with me. And, I said, hey, if there ever was an opportunity, well, Joe Foster, he got another job back down in Louisiana. I don't know, it was a couple months or something.
And he was Mark's current.
Yes, he was Mark's current cameraman, farm manager, and then it just took off from there.
So as you guys go through a season, it's not a typical job, and it's not an 8 to 5. It's a lot of hours, especially in planting season, deer season. It's Saturdays, it's Sundays. There's really no time off per se, especially once you get into the season. What's that like, trying to manage the home life and expectations there because Mark and Terry are much different, and Willa and Tracy, that's the way it's always been, right? Once season starts, they're gone. But guys our age, it's a lot different, and we talk about it a lot. Like, expectations nowadays are much different than they were of a husband or a father or whatever, back then, or a boyfriend or whatever. So meaning like you're the boyfriend in this situation. So
how does he know about Bruce?
How do you handle that with Melissa and Shayna and whatever you got going on?
Marissa.
What'd I say?
Melissa.
I said Marissa.
Okay.
Grammatical errors. All right. So how do you handle
Check
that?
the tape.
Go through a few and find the right one is all I can say.
Yeah, but you were dating her before you started.
Yeah. When we started dating, I told her I was either going to South Korea for a deployment or I was moving to Iowa, so I think she got the better end of the deal.
At least she could come up to Iowa.
Yeah.
Move up there. Right?
So a crab sandwich or?
It was a true story.
And you actually met her up there. She hunts. She's into the lifestyle.
Yeah,
right?
Shayna's really big into hunting, and her and her dad, grew up there, lives in Iowa, and started dating her. I still get crap for taking her to Pizza Hut for my first date.
Not many options up there, though.
No.
Where'd you go, to Memphis?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
There are no options.
Yeah, that was the only place open that late because we hunted that night. And we were late because I think Terry shot a doe, surprisingly. So.
Oh, you have something to do? Let me shoot a doe here.
Every time one walks by, he's like, "You got plans tonight? Too bad."
Yeah.
But no, I got lucky. She's really into hunting and stuff, and she comes down to camp and helps cook and all all that stuff. And she just knows during the fall and spring and stuff I'm going to be really busy and have abnormal hours. So
that's good.
Works out good.
Because it is, I mean, how many hours do you think you're putting in through, like, planting season, which I know it's a shorter window, especially if rain's coming, but, like, there's a couple weeks there where I'm sure you guys are, how many hours do you think you throw in 1 week?
I don't know.
A lot.
Planting? I don't know. I'd put a number on it.
I mean, especially if we turkey hunt in the morning and then start
so
planting in the
spring planting, but then fall.
Oh, fall plots. I mean, 12, 14-hour days.
Yeah.
It's driven by sunlight.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it just kind of depends. I mean,
And
we'll
rain.
plant in the darks. We've planted them in the dark before. I mean,
It's whenever those lines get real crooked.
we just broadcast ours. There's no drilling at night.
So what time of the year are you doing any kind of like catching up and trying to be with your families a little bit?
I mean, in the off season, like July's pretty slow normally. Grain
July.
grain fields are in, and then we're waiting to do green. And then obviously as soon as deer season's over,
Late January, February.
February.
Pretty wide open, really.
And holidays, try to spend a couple extra days around holidays too.
yeah.
If you guys have the opportunity to do any other kind of hunting, like maybe not during deer season, do you still do it? Like, you still interested in predator hunting or?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. We still get after it.
Yeah.
These guys kill a lot of predators. I mean, these guys are trapping and coyote hunting and all that good stuff, all three of them. So.
Yeah, predator management has become a pretty big thing for, I know, you guys and for us, trying to help out those turkeys and help out the fawns.
So what would be a perk per se? What's a downside and what's an upside to working here?
Let Wade go first.
I mean, obviously, the upside is to, it feels like we're working with a family more so than a company. It always has felt like that. And, we get to hunt for a living. So, like, what people are paying to do, we're getting paid to do. The downside is probably, which is not really, it's kind of hard to say it's a downside, but like, the hours that are so long, it gets drawn out, and it's 7 days a week. So, but again, it doesn't really feel like works, but so if that's the worst part of it, then I guess so be it.
Yeah. How about you?
Yeah, I would definitely say, I mean, you get to do, a lot of guys, they work to get to do deer stuff. We do deer stuff for work. I mean, getting to some of the stuff we get to see in the fall, I mean, big deer walking around and all the other stuff we get to see being out there every day is just absolutely awesome. And I mean, the downside is, like Wade said, it's the time. I mean, there is times where some of my buddies may say, hey, we're going duck hunting out in Kansas this week. Do you want to go? And it's like, no, we're filming deer hunts this fall. Or you may not get to go hunt with friends or family quite as much, but it is really, really cool job.
Yeah. Upside's turkey hunting every day of the season. I mean, I love deer, but turkeys is where I'm more passionate about. I just love turkeys, and the downside's definitely time away from family, time away from friends. So.
Yeah. Makes sense.
Friends are overrated if you think about it.
Who needs those?
Not me.
How many times do you have?
No, it's not a need versus a want. You want friends.
Yeah.
But
No, I mean, it would be great.
Don't really have that
It'd be
many.
great to have someone to call or text. You can text yourself, though.
good to know.
You've
Thanks,
been doing
Tim.
it lately? Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, Tim, what's up? You're going to have a great day today, brother.
I don't think so, Tim.
Which button did you hit?
I don't think so,
I said
Tim.
I don't think so, Tim.
Okay.
Do we want to jump into this real wild clip that Forrest gave us?
Let's see what we got. Yeah, why not? All
It's
right.
powered by Silencer Central.
Which these three all have used the Silencer Central.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
So
Awesome.
thoughts, which we talked to you a little bit about on the podcast, but fans, what?
Oh, man. If you don't have one, you should be getting one.
It's definitely a game changer when you guys are going out there and doing all the doe management.
management's
It
huge.
seems like it's a huge game changer.
Yeah, it helps a lot. Not only from a hearing and health standpoint, but I mean, even on the filming side, you don't have the concussion of a rifle going off next to you anymore. So
Helps Perry stay steady.
I like that.
we'll dig up some footage of Wade jumping, and you can add that in on this podcast.
Dig deep.
Actually, I think episode 2 of 13.
Yeah,
we should-
yeah.
Chapter and verse over here. Wow.
Yeah.
Season 10, episode 2 at
got the time code.
13:37.
All right.
All right, let's see what we got. So, Forrest, you actually filmed this?
Yep, I did.
So,
Always be filming.
So we got
See how steady it is, Perry?
looks like you're inside a house. What's
I'm
going on
in
here?
a truck, actually.
Oh, you're in a truck?
Yeah, I was at a stop sign and look over. I was with my wife in the car, and I look over, and I was like, holy crap, there's a white squirrel there, and it's actually an albino squirrel. So I just grabbed my phone real quick and snapped a clip of it because it looked cool, I thought.
It looks decent.
Pretty wild.
If only you had a silencer on
A
those
22.
little 22.
The Wildcat.
Yep.
Squirrel mount would look real good in the bunkhouse.
That would be cool. You guys,
Jumping off the wall.
Looks like you might be
you
in
see the
town there,
guys
though.
that do the crazy taxidermy of the squirrels, like make them surfing and
Put a little like superhero cape on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the good stuff.
Oh yeah.
All right, so we gear into this season here, and we're to the point where everybody's starting to get their cameras out. And you guys, I know, especially you guys had some heartbreakers. We were seeing those in the Deer Season 23 episodes, but there's still plenty of hit listers out there. Is there one deer specifically each of you are excited to see? You guys pretty much killed all your shooters last year, so starting from scratch.
smoke them if you got them.
Anything you're specifically excited for this year?
There's a couple really old deer that will probably just be about the same, but they should be some of our better deer that we just never were able to run into last year. So we'll see what they do. But you always get those, those 5-year-olds that are just nice deer that always, one or two will make a huge jump. So that's the fun part for me is figuring out what's going to jump or what jumped.
Do you ever get a deer where it jumps and it changes a little bit of what he looks like, and so it takes a little bit to go back to the history?
For sure. You have to get real down, figure out exactly if it is him. It's what happened on that buck that I shot last year. I mean, we knew it was him because he had the same exact frame, brow tines, same scars. Like, we knew it was him, but he made a drastic change and, threw on some kickers, drop tine. He was just a typical 8 the year before. So they definitely can make a huge jump like that and kind of throw you off a little bit.
Yeah. How about you?
We got a couple deer that, they're just super, super old. We always like to say age before beauty, and we got a couple deer that, one in particular, we just call him Fat. He's just this old 8-point. He's a huge, he looks like a beef cow out there, but we've never actually seen him, and he's been on the cameras and stuff, so we're going to try to figure him out this year. So I think he's like 8 or 9.
Never encountered him?
Never seen
8 or 9, and because at least like the deer with the tongue out, you guys would see him.
Yeah.
It just didn't work out to kill him, but you'd see him, it feels like all the time.
Yeah. This deer, he's been on the cameras and stuff. We just never seen him. So
cool.
Going to try to figure him out this year.
Anything specific for you? The deer you missed last year?
Yeah, I'd love to see him.
Settle the score.
No, nothing. We always got a few deer we're looking to see what jumped and who goes
Did you name that deer?
No.
With?
Just call him Strike One.
Sure.
You were just trying to get that in there, weren't you?
You set him up.
Everybody wants to keep the baseball thing.
Wade handed me a dagger here and said, jab it.
Jab it in.
Yeah, we don't need any baseball reference deer. There are plenty out there. So.
Yeah. Call him a G2 buck.
That's a dagger to me. We can't come up. Scott and I struggle with names. So there's short G2, there's long G2, there's the G2.
Well, the buck that Perry smashed his finger on, he got the name Smash, the buck that lived on that plot, so that's how he got.
And you
that
killed
name.
him last year, didn't you?
No, he's still alive.
Yeah.
No, that's the one that jumped up when we were trying to find my deer, right?
Yes.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Same plot.
Big-bodied buck.
Yeah, he's large.
So.
Yeah.
Well,
there's a deer, hopefully named Skidder. Wade almost ran the shed over with the skid steer. I ran in front of him.
big deer.
Should be, yeah.
Could be.
Should be real big.
See if he is.
Should be, could be.
There's some
That's what she said.
unique names. They get him that way.
You guys don't really do a lot. You're hunting a lot of different properties, 80s, a 40, 100, whatever. There's a lot of different parcels your lease or Mark owns. So you're not really named. That's the one thing I noticed hunting up there last year. Not really a ton of names like it used to be.
Yeah,
it's just you reference them as certain things, but there's not really a name for them per se.
I think they come about in situations like what we just talked about. I hurt myself, or Wade almost ran over a shed antler, or whatever.
They all start with names at the beginning of the year, but then there's just enough of them that we forget them.
Yeah.
By the time that we encounter them or get another picture of them.
I don't have that problem.
Here's something I often wonder. So as you guys, because Forrest, you guys have a few properties to hunt as well. It's like Illinois or Missouri, basically, is kind of how you're hopping around. But as you try to decide, you got a certain wind comes through, you're like, all right, we can hunt this spot, this spot. How are you diving into which spot you're going to go? How do you pick the spot?
I mean, obviously we go off, MRIs.
It's daily MRI, though.
Yeah. So that's number one, obviously. Or if we're targeting a specific deer, then we just, keep going when the wind is, and conditions are right. You know, if it's a clean access in and out where you can do so.
Or MRI of previous years if it's a deer that marks,
shows back up.
Yeah,
whatever.
going after.
History repeats itself.
There you go, Tim. I'm going to blast you through that turkey mount.
I've struggled with that. You don't get on his bad side.
It's a little reference to the old podcast
Yeah.
episode.
Yeah.
So, I find that to be a hard decision to make because MRI for us, it's one thing to get the MRI. It's another thing to utilize it properly.
Well, you were up there. You got to see the 3-hour conversation of where everyone's going.
Yeah.
And then go somewhere completely different by the end of the conversation. That wasn't even
All right,
talking
we
about.
clear? Let's go.
Well,
Sounds
it's
about
after
right.
we clear, and then it's like, I thought of something else, and then that's usually
and
the
then
route you go.
Sometimes that works.
Sometimes the gut
best.
pays off. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Definitely.
I'm curious from your guys' perspective in DeerCast, specifically maps, like what are the features that you guys are utilizing right now?
Oh, the wind checker for sure. Or right now would be
Yeah.
the rain stations.
Yeah.
Rain station. I mean, Mark and Wade and myself, that we go through them daily if we're getting rain. So
Radar feature, watching the radar come
Yeah.
through, use that a lot.
Usually it just dissipates before it gets to us. So we look at it after the
Yeah,
fact.
I'll watch it go around. Sure.
split right
Like a
around.
force field.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, anything else?
I'm just happy to be here.
What you guys got? Anything for us?
how's your season looking?
I think it's going to be. I'm optimistically encouraged by what we're seeing so far on camera. We don't really have many cameras out, but we Scott started putting a few out, and we had some out. And the new farm, I think, is going to be a lot more fun to hunt than what we've been hunting the
cool.
last couple of years.
Yeah, that'll be fun.
We finally have one thing that I notice on the stuff that you guys hunt is the amount of daylight activity on camera. Not that you always see the deer, but the daylight activity you guys see on cameras versus what we're accustomed to on our leases. It's just not the same, and I think it's just intrusion.
Yep.
And this new property is secluded enough where we actually see daylight photos, and it's been so long since I had a farm that we had something like that. It's almost like shocking to us. Like, you see that? It's 11:30. He's walking through here. And so I'm anxious to see if we can
Utilize that.
Actually succeed this year.
Hopefully. That'd be cool. You kill a mature deer on your new farm
There's a
this
couple
year.
good ones on it. So I'm excited about that. How about you, Tim?
So 3, 4, 5, and 6, I passed all of them last year.
Sure. Okay.
Praying you don't fall out of your saddle.
He did get new straps for his saddle. He's
Almost
good and
impossible.
safe
He's
this year.
saddled in.
I'm super safe. No, I a lot of 3-year-old deer last year that should be pretty good deer this year. So I don't know. Like, I've just started putting cameras out. I'm anxious to see in a few weeks here what I've got going. It's tough from where I'm hunting at because we mentioned last episode I can't put out any mineral or anything.
Yeah, makes it
so
tough.
I'm just trying to find where they're traveling and catch them going through.
It would be interesting taking the skill set of these guys and the way that they're accustomed to hunting and seeing how it transitions into, and I've said it on the podcast a billion times, I couldn't hunt how you're hunting. It's just such
Neither
a
can
different, it's just such a different style. You're talking, 10 acres or 5 acres or, it's urban. It's, it's all kinds of stuff like that. Suburban. It's just different than what we're accustomed
380
to.
acre cattle ranch that's overrun with coyotes and bobcats. And
Yeah,
armadillos.
that I don't think these guys. I think they'd figure out. I'd love to take these guys and take them on my pieces and say, all right, what am I doing wrong? Because I think they've seen so much from hunting with Mark and Terry that
I've been there.
on what
on your farm.
Well, yeah. Well, but just take it and actually put in all the food plots, hang the stands.
But
tell
did
me
you
where to
give him
sit.
any advice?
That's
Yeah.
what Terry I kind of did that day.
okay.
Yeah,
We
we
all
just-
went up and we discussed where the food plot should go and stands.
And
And
that's
all
what
that
we've
stuff.
done.
Did not put in a pond though.
And what do you know, daylight walkers?
What do you know?
I think they would have been there
Simple.
without your help.
It's simple.
Yeah, you got a good point. You did do that. Never mind.
Terry sprinkled a little magic dust out.
It was dandruff.
So we could do a field trip this afternoon.
We go to
Pile
Matt's
in the
farm?
truck and
No,
head down
his
to my
farm's
place.
closer.
Oh, your place.
Yeah,
Okay.
let's do it.
It's 10 acres, so in a couple minutes you'll be done walking it.
There are no deer here.
Just say, doze out about 9 of it and put a food plot right in the middle of it.
And that's actually what you've done. Get it,
Pretty
right?
much, yeah. Well, one of the 9-acre parcels, my buddy Tony came over, knocked off a bunch of trees off a ridge, and we're gonna throw in a big clover plot.
Yeah. I think
So
That'll be awesome.
I think the
Food is
neighbors will
handy.
appreciate the deer eating the clover and not their hibiscus. So
They'll appreciate the dead deer running and dying in their grass.
the one buck that's on my wall in the office there, he died in my buddy's front yard next to his wife's bird bath. Suburban hunt. She was leaving for the morning to go to work, and she called him. She's like, I think maybe Tim killed a deer because there's a buck laying on its side in our front yard by the bird bath.
Just different. That's what I'm saying. It's just
Yep.
different.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's cool though.
Literally had a scrape on the side of this guy's house, like on the corner of his house.
Oh, really?
He was coming to check it. Yeah.
Ripped
Nice,
the
not have-
downspout
Don't
off.
have to drag them very far, at least.
No, it was awesome.
Yeah.
Back into the driveway, you're done.
Here we go. Yep, different kinds of hunting. Hey, our buddy Zach had a question from the Rack Pack, and I thought this would be a good one for you guys to help us out with.
All right, so the question of the day is proudly presented by Sportsman's Channel, your home for Winchester and Drury's natural born and everything red, wild, and blue. Zach, okay, so Zach says, what would be a good single-shot rifle platform for deer hunting, Illinois? I think we would all pretty much be unanimous in a 350 Legend, wouldn't we?
Yes, sir.
Absolutely.
But you have to be careful, and he referenced it correctly, single shot. So you're not allowed to have the cartridge with you, right?
Correct. I mean, you could run an AR platform. You have to have a dummy mag or no mag at all. So, or a single shot platform or a bolt gun. Same reference.
Because I think even Winchester, like those XPRs we have, I think they've come out with
A dummy mag.
Yeah, dummy mag that goes in.
Yeah.
You can shoot them without a clip. I shot ours without a clip in it, so you just leave the
load
clip
it.
out.
Yeah.
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 Yep.
Slow as shot.
But you're not supposed to have the clip with you. The way I
No.
understand
Yeah.
it, it can't be anywhere in the vicinity of where you're at.
Correct.
Yeah. So
This is what happens when politicians make rules about things that they don't fully understand. What practically is that gonna do if you don't have the magazine with you? Or do have it with
I
you?
think they're worried about it's not, you're not looking at the ethical hunter, you're looking at the guy that's going to take the rule and take advantage
Bend
of
it a little bit.
Someone who is not going to follow the law in the first place.
Hey, I'm just glad that they have that. They're allowing
progress.
that 350 Legend to be used
Yeah.
or whatever, single shot rifle. That's
Mm-hmm.
unbelievable.
It is.
So,
It is progress.
yeah.
that's exciting. Yeah, you've lived there your whole life, right? Up
Yeah.
until the time you
They
moved
won't
to
ever
Iowa.
legalize suppressors, but maybe one day.
That'd be tough
Yeah.
over there.
I don't know if that one's gonna happen.
I don't think that one's
It'd be
happening.
nice for coyote hunting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, so there you go. And Winchester, I mean, there's a few out there, but I know the one that we shoot, that Winchester XPR, it's an easy shooting gun. I mean, it's you can group really
yeah.
easily with that thing.
It's great for
so-
women and kids too. I mean, some of those people over in Illinois like shooting a slug gun. I mean, it's got a lot of recoil
Yeah.
for women
Yeah.
and kids. That 350 Legend would be
small
awesome. Yeah.
All of our catch,
Short dads.
catch a dream hunters always shoot it normally.
Yeah.
None of them have
Yeah.
complained, so it's a great platform.
So there you go.
We get,
Zach.
we get
Zachy.
0 complaints about this podcast.
We've had a few complaints.
They've tapered off because those people quit listening. It's all fans right now. One of our buddies from the Rack Pack said he loves the information that's given. It's helped him greatly in seasons past. I love the light and fun atmosphere. Along with great jokes come great tools for success in deer season. From the
Are you in the
Pack.
Rack Pack, Wade?
He's
Nope.
not.
You son of a.
I'm gonna get in there though.
Sure. Well, we've only had it for over a year and a half. So it might be 2 years.
It's pretty
Must
pretty
be lot-
funny.
my-
Some of the stuff's funny.
It is
Yeah,
funny.
it is.
My invite must have got lost in my emails.
Sure. It's on Facebook. It's pretty easy to find. We only bring it up every podcast twice or 3 times.
The best is how we coerce people to be in it.
Yes.
It's not something someone seeks out to be in.
They're always happy they got in there, though.
Yeah, eventually.
Like you said, it's just really a bunch of guys and gals joking around and making fun of each other. And then you get some information along the way.
Yeah, it is entertaining.
So,
Yep.
all right.
Settles and Zebcos.
I get a lot of shit about the Zebco.
I backed you up on that one time.
I don't do much fishing. And so when I had that Montgomery farm, had that nice pond on it or whatever, I was using a Zebco because that's all I had. It's all I know how to use.
Hey.
The Rack Pack really took it and ran with it. I get sent more DMs about this Theo Vaughn meme where he's talking. It has nothing to do with Zebcos, but somebody made it about Zebcos. And he's like, I wouldn't tell too many people about that. He's going on. I get that DM more than like somebody discovered it for the first time. They think of me.
Yes.
Terry uses a Zebco.
Well, yes.
Yeah.
So there you go.
It's just a push of a
I
button.
mean,
Because I do so much fishing.
That's where I got it from. So, anyways,
not sure if you're making your case there or not.
all right. So, last piece of business, and we can end this thing. So, the new Rack Pack members, minus Wade, you're not in there yet. You have to actually be in there. So, we have new names. Tim always puts a fake name in there, and I usually butcher everybody else's. I see one right out of the gate that I know. All right, Gracie Jane Peebler. We know this one.
That's
It's a
right.
real person.
That's a real person. That's
Yeah.
Ben.
She's friends with Ben.
That's producer Ben, editor Ben. That's his friend. And then we got Tim Burstand. Tim Burstand. So I got to pronounce them usually, draw it out, and figure if there's a way that this is a fake name. Tim Burstand. I don't think that's fake.
Yeah, timber stand.
Timberstand. Yes.
Wait.
I'm all over it.
See, this is why you should join the Rack Pack. All right, so that's the fake name, Timberstand. Matt Burton, Darren Wilkins, Darren Hine, Brian Sweeney, Charlie
Why did
Williams.
you say that so quizzically?
I don't
Brian
know.
Sweeney.
Charlie Williams, Roger Lewis, Brady Wynn, Dalton Gabriel.
All right,
Welcome to the Rack Pack.
Question for Mark Drury. Are these all people you know also?
Yeah.
Okay.
On the last podcast, we named off these names, and he knew almost every one of them. He's like, "Oh, that person. We did this." Well, it was all people that Ingy had invited, so they were industry people.
Gotcha.
Ingy, as soon as he appeared on the podcast, he felt it was good enough to share it with other people. So that's the other way we grow.
He's blasting through the Rack Pack.
It's a Rack
Well,
Pack
when Wade
monster.
joins, he can share it.
That's right.
Can't
go.
wait.
Hey, we're like 2,000 members now.
Everybody's going to be
Dustin Lynch will
walking
be in
around in
Rack
state country.
Or maybe not.
I think he's on Facebook.
Oh, all right.
You guys had enough? I've had enough.
Well, let's head down to Bourbon. We'll go to my property. We'll check it out.
Sounds good.
Here we go.
Isn't it happy hour?
It is.
And it Bourbon.
Well, it is for somebody. It's 4 o'clock. It's almost happy hour.
I heard,
We'll pay, full,
somewhere.
we'll pay full price. It's fine.
I heard-
Let's go.
I heard someone say one time, like they opened a can and then someone said, it's 5 o'clock somewhere.
Alan just.
Where do you come up with this horrible joke?
He's got the worst dad jokes, but also like just cheesy. Dad jokes are supposed to be cheesy, but yours are next level.
They make me laugh.
I don't think so, Tim.
And I think the guys here at the studio, I think they appreciate them in their own way.
Alan, you're. They disagree.
Well, agree to disagree.
All right. Well, let's get to that happy hour. Hey,
See-
good luck this fall, guys. I mean,
Thank you.
Thanks, you
Thank
too.
you.
You
too.
too.
Booner. Couple 130s.
Happy to kill.
Happy to kill anything.
Yes.
All right.
All right. See you guys.
Till next time. Peace out.
DeerCast is now supercharged with maps. Get ahead of your game with killer new features like live Doppler radar, wind check out to 5 days, virtual rain gauges, GPS path tracking, and more. Plus, get our 14-day revolutionary DeerCast prediction and access to DeerCast Track. Prep, predict, and pursue with DeerCast.
We're adding new videos every week, so make sure to click that subscribe button and check out all of our amazing content. This episode of DoD TV is brought to you by DeerCast. Prep, predict, and pursue your target buck.